Welcome to the Accessible Hunter podcast. I'm Greg Trainer along with my co-host Mike Hudson. And today we got a really special podcast. We say that a lot, but we're really fortunate to have Jacob Keller from Be Adaptive Equipment on. And we've been working with Jacob and his family for a long time. I mean, Be Adaptive makes some great products, some great triggers, some great mounts. And we're just really fortunate to have them on. Mike, what's going on in South Carolina today, brother?
Just enjoying this beautiful weather. Finally, for a little while, we've got some sunshine and no rain.
Man, you were doing some traveling and had quite an experience while you were traveling. You want to talk a little bit about that? Your trip to Texas?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's a long way from South Carolina to Texas when you're hoofing it. But yeah, we had a 16-hour trek. We were bypassing storms. It seemed like all the tornadoes were either 15 miles above us or 20 miles below us, but we had them popping off left and right. But had a little medical issue come into play. But you know how it is as a quadriplegic, man. That's just part of the course, brother.
I do, man. Well, I'm glad you're back home in South Carolina and made the trip good. Jacob, how you doing, man? You're out in Indiana. What's going on with you this morning?
Doing good. Finally some decent weather. We've had a lot of rain here lately, but we're 63 degrees in the sunshine this morning, so it's beautiful.
Man, that's good. Pittsburgh's a little bit cold here this morning. We
Yeah.
got a cold front coming in, but I'm looking forward to the weekend and getting down to the farm and getting some grass cut and that kind of thing. But man, we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to talk with Mike and I today. As I kind of said at the beginning, Mike and I have both been using your family's equipment for a long time. We're big fans. You guys have always uh, did the right thing as far as I'm concerned with customer service. Anytime I've ever had a question, you can get somebody on the phone at Be Adaptive pretty easily, and that's not always the case with certain manufacturers. But you want to
Yeah.
introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about Be Adaptive for the people that aren't familiar with it?
Yeah, so like Greg said, my name is Jacob Kyler. I am kind of the up and coming generation of Be Adaptive. Myself and my younger brother Hunter. Most of the time anymore, if you call here at the shop, you'll get one of the office ladies, and then you'll get to talk to Hunter or I. So Brian and Renee are still in the shop. You can still talk to them sometimes. And Brian and Renee is our mom and dad. They started the business in '02 and then went full time in 2005. And it all started off of one buddy of dad's that was in a wheelchair, and he had a previous gun mount, and it just didn't work very well. You had to cut the buttstock of the gun off. You used fishing line to fire it. It was just kind of a mess. So dad was a fabricator before that. Did a lot of fabrication work for other companies, and so they just started hanging out in the evenings and working on stuff. And finally, they came up with something that worked, and that's the HQ 100 that we sell now. We sell probably like the fourth generation of what the original one was, but yeah, it's basically the same piece of equipment that it always has been. I mean, he kind of got it right from the start, so they started doing that, and then I mean, it's just anybody that had an issue and needed help with something, he just kind of evolved it and created more products off of people's problems to help them out. So I mean, that's kind of always been the goal, is just evolve and help people with what they need, and make a product that is universal and helps a lot of people.
And that seems to be always the case, man. It's when you're trying to figure out new products, you're always going to have somebody reaching out saying, "Oh, that piece worked for me, but can you adapt it this way to work for something else?" And like Greg said, man, I've been using your sip and puff for a long time, and it's beyond measure. It's always a trip, man. Whenever I can get somebody on that is even the able-bodied guys when they try out the sip and puff for the first time, they're like, dude, I need one. There's no trigger lag. You don't have to worry about somebody jerking a trigger. The only thing I found is if I'm shooting something like a turkey nitro, and I've
Yep.
got two of them loaded in. If I suck on the straw and don't let that pressure off, it'll double tap on you sometimes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be careful with that for sure.
That's a little rough, especially if you got something hot and heavy like those tungstens.
Uh, yeah, we have a lot of issues sometimes with we put a piece of paper whenever we ship one to keep the trigger rod about 3/8 to half inch away from the trigger and get you a little bit of gap. Most of it's for momentum so that that actuator motor has enough power to trip the trigger. But if you set them too close, yeah, you'll run into that same thing. So I'll have guys double and triple tapping on different things sometimes, and you definitely got to be careful with it.
Man, that's the truth. I've had that happen to me, yeah, once or twice. But as you get to the range and you get practice in, you kind of understand exactly how it works, and
Hmm.
just the reliability factor. I mean, I've never doubted my equipment whenever it was going to go off. You've made such a good product. Uh, it's a small family business that serves the entire country, and I'm sure you guys even ship internationally.
Oh yeah.
It's just amazing that everyone we talk to is so familiar with Be Adaptive, and we all have the same story. It's a great company. It works. The equipment works as advertised right out of the box. It's pretty intuitive. Um, I can't say enough about you and your family.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I mean we've always tried to make products that are simplistic and work, and if they don't work, I mean we've always tried to be a company that, like you said earlier, you can get on the phone and talk with us. I mean, I can't count the amount of times that we've talked to a group of guys that are in a hunting blind on a hunt and we're trying to work through some type of issue that got going on so they can keep doing what they're doing. So yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we've always been trying to do is make stuff that works and make stuff that's really really universal. Because I mean, we run into a lot of guys that you know they wouldn't shoot or they wouldn't want to hunt if they couldn't use the same gun that they used before their injury, or it goes across different situations. And so we've always tried to make something that somebody can set up and they can shoot any gun they want to, and just any setup they really want to do, whatever makes them happy, we want to try to accommodate that.
Right. And I know you guys are always coming up with new products. You guys got anything new in the works? I know you're doing a lot more fishing stuff and all that, and that's exciting. As a quad that I can pull the trigger a little bit with my thumb, but I'm
Hmm.
terrible with it, and so if I'm on something like a turkey or a
Yeah.
deer that I can't have a lot of upward movement, man, that straw's there, it's ready to go. And
Yep.
it does not take a whole lot to get ready for them. But
Yeah.
yeah, you guys have any new equipment in the works?
Yeah, we're always working on stuff. We're kind of in a little bit of a slow season now that turkey season's over in a lot of different places. So we're starting to work on different things. I know one thing we got going on is for sure, like you're saying, the fishing stuff. I mean, we kind of want to evolve and push further into some of the fishing things because we have a fishing mount, but and it works really well for certain situations. But somebody that has no arm or hand movement at all, we don't really have anything to accommodate that. So we are kind of pushing into that realm and going to try to work on some different products to do that for sure. Um, Other than that, I mean, we've been working with Greg here a little bit and making some new hand devices. So, and that's kind of going out of the hunting and shooting realm and into the more everyday use and running his wheelchair and stuff like that. So those things will definitely be out fairly soon. I mean, we just got to get with Greg, get some time and figure that thing out completely. But yeah, there's always stuff going on, and I mean, we're always welcome to have people call in and give us whatever crazy idea they got too, and we'll try to run with it.
Absolutely.
Mike, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but earlier this year they come out with uh, like a hand brace that has the trigger pull mechanism on it, and I ordered one from Jacob. They shipped it out to me, and I haven't had the opportunity to get it to the range and really try it. But I don't know if you've seen that or not. But with your ability to pull the trigger using your arm, that would be something where you could always try that as well.
Yeah, I'm always looking for something that's it's simplistic, something that's universal. I did see the one that you're talking about. I like it, and I'm trying to. I have not transitioned any of my stuff to my crossbows yet, and so I'm wanting to do more and more of that. And I haven't even looked at the mounts, so that'd be one thing I'll have to rely on you and Jacob, to see if there's a different mount that I'll need for the crossbow setup, but. Yeah, I'm excited to see more ways that we could use that part that you've ordered.
It's funny that you say about the crossbow, because that's exactly what I want to use it for. In the summer, a lot of times I can get my crossbow just stuck in a mount that I don't have to do the sip and puff trigger on it, to set everything up. And I was thinking, well, if I got 5 or 10 minutes to be able to shoot, I could just put that hand brace on and then, pull the trigger that way. I don't have to get everything lined up and everything as far as the sip and puff mount. I always had a question, Jacob. How many people do you think have used the sip and puff trigger, and how many people do you think the company has served over the years?
Oh man, that's an impossible question. I have no idea.
Putting you on the spot there.
I mean, if Dad were here, he could run through the list for you I think we've sold every state in the United States except Hawaii. So we got equipment in every state except Hawaii. And then, like I said, if Dad was here, he could run through the list of the different countries. We've been all over the place. I don't know how many people, but it's a lot. It's actually crazy if you start thinking about it. We're in just a little small town here in Indiana. And, we always joke that half the people in our community probably don't even know we're here. And, we're probably the largest adaptive equipment manufacturers in the world.
Yep.
And it's funny when you start thinking about it and the amount of people that we've sent equipment to. And it's really cool. That is the best part about working here and doing what we do is, just talking to people from all different walks of life it's just incredible. It's insane. Every day talking to those people, it really gives you an appreciation for what you have and what some people are going through, for sure.
Yeah. We talk a lot about it, Jacob. The word of mouth gets out there. The disability community is a very small community. And when you find a product that is reliable, it's American made, it's something that we can actually get somebody on the phone, like you said, and even in the ground blind, if we have issue, which my sip and puff has never given me issue, it's always been user error. Trying to hook it up in the dark, and it's a simple design, not to overplay it. But a lot of times I'll go out with different guides or whatever, and I'm explaining it to them. Hey, this is where you hook into my joystick, and doing it in the dark with somebody that's new. It's a universal product, but at the same token, man, word of mouth gets out there. And I'm gonna tell you the number of times I can get guys and girls out here shooting sporting clays, or I put them on a plinking gun, and they've never even seen the product. They're a new injury, and they get that double tap that we're talking about, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, it completely changes their mindset, and you see this huge smile. Man, you're opening hearts at the same time as opening independence, man. And so I just got to give you kudos for that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's definitely, that's the thing that I wish we could do more of is we don't really deal with too many customers in person. I don't get to see a lot of people shooting for the first time or going on their first hunt and stuff, but every once in a while we travel and we got time and we go to some local, organizations, whatever's within reasonable driving distance, and watch some of these kids hunt and bring their deer in, and just the smile and how proud of some of those kids are for doing something that they've never done before, or doing something they haven't done in a long time, and just giving them a little bit of independence. That's an awesome feeling for sure.
It's definitely one of those.
We know that you work with a lot of organizations, around the country that do take people out for the first time, and it's definitely life changing. I can tell you personally, whenever I was first injured and didn't think I'd be able to do anything in the outdoors again, getting back to the outdoors really mentally, it's a game changer. You go from thinking that you can't ever do anything that you used to do to be able to doing it for the first time, and not only trying it, but to be successful at it, to be almost just
Yeah.
as good of a shot as I was, before my injury. If things give me enough time to get on it, if I can, take my time to aim, I'm just as good of a shot using the Sip It Puff as I ever was, shouldering a rifle and squeezing the trigger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Eric always said, the first guy that Dad made the original high quad for. I mean, we have one video that was made years ago now. It's called it was Good Company that came out and did it. And Eric says in that video that he's a better shot now than he ever was before his injury. And I get that a lot with the high quad. I mean, it really is fairly precision. I mean, it's got motors that move it left, right, up and down, and it can utilize the same firing action as what you guys are talking about, the Sip and Puff, or we offer two other firing options too. So, I mean, some people that can't sip on the straw, like, certain stroke victims and stuff like that, they would maybe use the rubber encapsulated bite, which is just a little rubber bite switch that you can either bite with your lips or bite with your teeth, whatever's comfortable. Or then in other situations, they use a 2-button fire, which is one button's a firing button and other button acts as a safety. We never put them on a single button just because it's dangerous. They could get bumped. So one of them has to be held and the other one will make it fire. So, but yeah, Eric said that all the time. He was always a better shot now than he was before his injury.
For sure. Now, a lot of people may not know this as well, but there's so many different ways to power the Sip and Puff trigger. Mike and I both kind of plug it into our wheelchairs anymore with a different pigtail. But you've also come out with a 12-volt battery just recently, and you also have the manual bite trigger. So there's several different ways to either power it or to do it with or without power.
Yeah, exactly. I would say 9 times out of 10, most of our customers hook directly into their wheelchairs, but it just depends. Like, there's a lot of organizations out there that hunt out of enclosed trailers, and they set up on just regular 12-volt car batteries, and the battery we're selling now is a little tiny battery, it's less than 3 pounds. It's made connections on it. So we get that, but I mean, yeah, the battery world has evolved so much. I mean, there's people that power them off of little RC car batteries and stuff anymore. I mean, you can get a 12-volt battery in a tiny little package anymore. So yeah, there's all sorts of different ways to power them with 12-volt. And then yeah, the mechanical bite, that's been around for a long time, and it works well. I mean, some people have issues a little bit with just comfort wise with it, just because it's a lot to get in your mouth, and you got to be able to open your mouth kind of a long ways to get that mechanical movement to trip the trigger. So it's definitely a good option though, especially if you don't want to deal with electrical wires and hooking up a battery and that kind of stuff. I mean, the BT, we sell a lot of those for sure.
Jacob, it's a funny story. I've shared this with Greg. I went to Washington, D.C. on an occasion and was going through Secret Service, and my pigtail was sticking up on the edge of my chair. And one of the guys that was there, he said, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a trigger mechanism." And before I could finish my statement, he's like, "A trigger mechanism for what? You stand there and we're going to get the EOD dog to come in." And so I told Greg, man, you got to be quick to say, no. It's something to help with my disability, not a trigger mechanism.
That's a funny one.
You get in trouble in a quick minute. I guess they've seen too many movies, or they've been around too many horror stories.
Yeah, that's a funny one. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I remember that story, and Mike's right. You gotta explain things properly, especially whenever you're traveling and going through security and everything. And they don't play around anymore. If you say the wrong thing, you could be in trouble. But
Yeah, for sure.
Batteries have come a long way, like you said, Jacob. And when we're taking so much things, so many things to the ground blind, it's nice to have the smaller batteries or to be able to plug them into the wheelchairs. Wheelchairs themselves have come a long way. And, I like to charge my cell phone and everything else through the wheelchair. And you guys making the right pigtail for all that makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we make all sorts of different. Sorry, RV going by. Yeah, we make all sorts of different pigtails. I mean, you know, we've had some equipment that we've mounted to the front of razors, like the Yamaha razors and stuff like that, and different UTVs. So, we've made some pigtails to power through like a cigarette lighter and stuff like that to control the equipment. And so, yeah, we make all sorts of different things. And I mean, we can make anything really. I mean, if anybody gets a hold of us and they have a specific ask and want it done, we'll try to do it for them for sure.
I remember whenever I first got my track chair, I had called the office and talked to your mom about making a cigarette lighter adapter. This was before they came standard on track chairs or anything.
Yeah.
And she put your dad on the phone and he said, "Hey, I know exactly what you need." And, he sent it out to me within probably 3 days. I said, "Hey, I got a hunt coming up," and I was trying to avoid carrying the battery that I had
Yeah.
bought from Cabela's. It was a little bit heavy. And man, he hooked me up with a new pigtail, and we got that on the track chair, and I was problem solved pretty quick within 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to be as fast as we can for people. And I mean, that's a common occurrence is we usually get people getting a hold of us and they got a hunt in 2 days and they need this and that, and we're always running around scrambling trying to get stuff done for people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's one of the things too, Greg, not to piggyback off of yours, but I ended up having to do something similar where we were doing a hog hunt in Texas and they have a lot of straw grass. And the only way for me to do it was to put my chair and elevate. But when I was fully elevated, the cable was too short and I couldn't turn side to side. So I called the shop and they sent me out like a 12-inch extension with vacuum seal. All I had
Yeah.
to do is pretty much shrink wrap it on and off we went again. But man, it's the ability to get in touch with somebody that understands and is willing to work with you to make a quick fix. And like I said, it's always been user error. I haven't had any trouble out of the devices at all.
Yeah, it's cool talking to guys like you that use it so much because it's one of those things that you guys use it more than we do. I mean, we're building them and we're testing them out before they leave and stuff. But I mean, it's guys like you that are using them 24/7 that have more experience with it and can relay problems that are happening to us and then tell us what's working too. And so we know we're moving in the right direction with some of that stuff for sure.
What we have to do next year is during your downtime like this, Jake, is get you guys out of the shop, you and Hunter, and either come out to Pennsylvania or go down to South Carolina, and all of us hook up and actually use it together and be able to give you some feedback personally during your downtime, because I know when the season starts coming around, you guys are busy as all get out, just getting the products out to people.
Yeah, for sure. Early spring, right before turkey, and then leading up to deer, fall firearms is crazy. I mean, last year, and I think some of that comes off of my wife redid our website just a couple of years ago, and so we have a new website and a bit more, and she's doing a really good job with all of that. And we were excited for the website because people could actually purchase off of it and go forth like that. But I don't think we were expecting the amount of business that it drew within a short window of time. I mean, right after the new site was put up, last year was just insane. Right before fall firearms. I mean, it was nonstop. We were busy, but yeah, it's always a pretty seasonal business. I mean, right before those seasons come in, we're pretty busy, and then right now we're kind of in a little slow period when nothing's really going on as far as hunting goes. But yeah, getting out with you guys would be awesome. I mean, every once in a while we have people that are semi-local to come here and hang out and shoot with us for a day, and that stuff is so much fun. I mean, it's and most of those people don't have equipment. They're just coming to test stuff out and see what equipment they need from us, and that stuff. It's awesome. It's awesome watching people use it for the first time, and doing something that they haven't done in a really long time. It's always a blast.
Yeah, I'm with Greg. That's where you find out where the rubber meets the road is when you can spend more time looking at products, fine tuning them, and it's one of those things you have to find out each person's individual and your products
Mhm.
work so well with it. The only thing I've had to do is I had to do a little bit of a different mount for my chairs whenever I'm going from like a shotgun or a standard rifle to an AR format just for magazine loading. And that has nothing to do with your equipment. It's just fine tuning what's going to be best set for me and my hand dexterity and my trunk dexterity as a quad. And I know several guys that use y'all's automated turret, and that thing is an absolute trip to watch. When you got somebody running that turret with their chin or whatever, and then the sipping puff going at the same time, man, it's mind blowing. It's like a rolling tank.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool piece of equipment. It's definitely the top tier piece we have around here. I mean, there's a lot of cool gadgets on it and stuff, and it's cool to watch people run it for sure. But yeah, like you said, with switching mounts, I mean, we have a limited mount that we make, and we try to accommodate everything. That limited mount will run any rifle and any crossbow. And then when you step into like an AR platform, we make an offset bar, so your longer magazines and your longer clips will work for those mounts. So we try to accommodate all sorts of different guns.
And you brought up, your new website, Jacob, and how things take off with social media.
Hmm.
It's just amazing the amount of people you can reach anymore on the web and on Facebook and on Instagram. And I'm sure you get a lot of success pictures of people sharing their hunts and their outings, fishing and things. Do you get to share that with the people at the shop to let them know, how important people value the equipment and all the hard work that you guys do? Do you get to share that with the people that are actually making it too?
For sure. Yeah. It's funny. We're probably actually way smaller than anybody thinks. I mean, 9 times out of 10, there's only one of us full time making the handy stuff. When we
Wow.
get super busy, there are two of us max. But we also run two other businesses here at the shop, and we've been doing those for a long time too. And the goal of those businesses has always been to kind of I mean, be adaptive. That this type of equipment is nothing. It's something you're never going to get rich off of, and that was never our goal. We want to keep doing it because it's fun and we enjoy it. And so yeah, there's only one guy usually making the handicap stuff, and we have a good amount of other employees that are doing other things in the other shop. And anytime somebody sends us an email with something, I mean, I go right to printing it off, and it's going around the whole shop. I mean, most of the people that work here at the shop are big time hunters and fishers too. So we're always excited when somebody sends something in. We're printing it off and passing around, and usually pretty jealous of some of the deer that I see people shoot.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. There's some big bucks that get taken with your adaptive equipment. No doubt about that. We just so appreciate everything you and your family are doing.
No, yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, whatever you guys want to ask is good with me, and that's the equipment is a big part of it, but it really is what you guys are talking about is highlighting the people that get to use it and what it does for those people. So that's always been the most important thing to us is making sure people are happy and they get to do what they want to do again.
That's the biggest part of what me and Greg get to do with this podcast is just highlighting the people that are still going after an injury or equipment companies like yours that's phenomenal. Other than like hashtag and be adaptive or, putting in at Be Adaptive. Is there any other way that we should be linking some of these products to you guys? Or is there a link you'd like to share in this podcast so more and more people can get to know you?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Facebook is really our biggest platform as far as social media goes, but um the website is, I mean, that's, we do almost 100% of the business through the website. So that's just www.beadaptive.com. And the website's really important. I mean, that's where we generate most of our business, and that's how most people find us. I mean, there's countless amount of times that people call in and they have no idea we exist, and they're just searching the internet for adaptive shooting equipment or adaptive equipment, and they kind of just stumble across us. And so yeah, I'd say the website's definitely how most people find us, and it's definitely our most important tool for people seeing what we do and getting a hold of us.
Well, Jacob, we sure appreciate your time coming on today. We know you're busy, and everything you and your family do is truly a blessing for myself. And I know Mike feels the same way. And when we talk to a lot of our friends that have significant disabilities, it's really, like I said, life changing. We're not exaggerating on that. So please give your mom and dad, your brother, and everyone that has a hand in making this equipment accessible for all of us. Please give them our thanks, because we sure appreciate everything you do.
Yeah, we'll do for sure. Yeah, it's incredible, like we said, that the amount of people you get to meet, and we don't get to see a lot of it because we're just here building it, but it's crazy when you start thinking about it, how many people it's helped, and how many lives it's impacted. And that's the important thing to us. I mean, none of it's about money and the business side of things. It's just really making sure people get to do what they want to do, and they get to get out and enjoy the outdoors, and fulfill whatever crazy dream they want to do. I mean, we'll do anything and everything. So if somebody's got some idea they think's crazy, I I ask them to reach out and talk to us, because I'm all for trying to make something happen for somebody, no matter what it is.
Yeah, man. I wanted to tag in there with Greg on that and thank you guys for the product you do. Like you said, it's not about money. It's not about anything other than just getting people back out. It goes back to the whole empathetic dialogue. If we can just show people that life goes on despite an accident or injury, um, man, it's about finding that product that's going to work for you. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Thank you for your entire family. I know it's a family business, and the disability community is a huge family. And we're going to keep pushing your product to everybody we know. So thank you again for your time.
Yeah, and thank you to both of you guys. I mean, you know, our business wouldn't be what it would be for people like you that are pushing the information and trying to spread the word to people. And you guys are just as important as the people that are building equipment out there. So we're definitely very, very appreciative for anybody and everybody that's pushing the word. And we work with so many different organizations. I love the organizations that are nonprofits and just get out there and get people on hunts and get equipment in their hand. And those organizations to hospitals and therapists that are explaining and showing that equipment to people. So, I mean, we wouldn't be what we are without the people pushing the word. So I'm very appreciative of both of you guys as well.
Absolutely. Thank you again for your time. I know Greg was going to close out with a couple things, but Jacob, man, I appreciate you taking time. It's good to see the sun out there. Hopefully, y'all are catching
Yeah,
some fish in the pond behind you, man. That looks like a good spot to go.
very good. Yeah, for sure.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. And get out and enjoy the outdoors, and try to make a difference in what you're doing every day.